amidst the backdrop of this continued onslaught of migrants that's costing money, canceled police classes. So bottom line, how sustainable are these crime gains that you identify as your top priority heading into 2024?
I think your question is so important because when I talk about the devastation impact of the migrant and asylum seekers, people only think about the volume of people that are coming in. There are byproducts to this. Cut in services, like we had to postpone the police class. Looking at some of the budgetary cuts, having a body of people, many young, who can't work. You don't even need an imagination to figure out that if you have someone 4 or 5 months and said you cannot work, you cannot feed your family, you cannot provide for yourself, what happens? Lack of opportunities, an idle mind, is the devil's workshop, as they say. And so there are a lot of things that are feeding off of the migrant policy that, as I said a few months ago, we're going to start seeing the physical aspects of this crisis. We've done a good job of keeping that physical aspect away from New Yorkers, but the dam has burst. And so the police department has done an amazing job, from Commissioner Sewell.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and we are here for a mid-week report. As y'all can see, I am not on camera. You can hear my voice is kind of still janky from being sick all last week, and still recovering now. But we are here nonetheless. So, bear with the voice, if you would. And thank y'all for your well wishes. I appreciate every last one of y'all. And, we are healing up. So, as everybody is coming in, please hit that like button and share it. Share this broadcast out, if you will. And, let's get this started. Hopefully all of y'all have had a good holiday. So, I know I'm late. I didn't do a broadcast before, so that's why I hit you with that. Jingle bells. But this is the holiday season. So, happy whatever you celebrate, right now. I'm not one of those that's going to be going hard on every, well, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're not doing this and you're not doing that, hey, whatever. If you enjoyed your family, then shout out to you. So with that being said, again, like I said, like and share this broadcast if you would, and subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. And if you have want to become a member, you can definitely join this channel as well. So with that being said, let's see who we have in this chat so far. And I guess the question being answered by Lance was, of course he does. The devil is a liar. Ain't that the truth? Shout out to Lance. Thank you there. One who cares in the building. Greetings from St. Louis. Welcome. Always good to see you in the house, my good sister. Rain Love. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Says, welcome. And Beatzilla, glad you're back. Happy you're back. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Lynette Williams from Montgomery, Alabama. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got our good sister Judah Queen in the house. Welcome, my good sister, as always. Got our brother Roderick Allen in the house. Welcome, my brother. And we got our good brother Kid Gravity Beyond in the house. What's going on, my good brother? Always good to see you as always, man. Ramani Bay in the house. Good to see you as always. Reginald Jeter in the house as well. Shout out to you, good brother. And dark-skinned brother in the house. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, as always. And we got Black Spider in the house all the way from the Northwest, Seattle, Washington in the house. And we got Lady Effa in the house from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for checking in always. And Judah Queen said, I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling better. I feel a lot better than how I sound. I definitely feel a lot better than how I sound. So we got Denise Soul in the house. Welcome, welcome, my good sister. Always good to see you in the house. And our good sister Tasha Peters in the house. Welcome, welcome. Always good to see you. Extreme X in the house. Yes, indeed. Hello, black people. Kasim Baker, Philadelphia in the house. Welcome, welcome. All right. All right. Shout out to everybody who is in the house right now. And we'll get to the first story at hand because it's been a minute since I got a chance to cover any of the more recent news. So I do want to kind of touch on some things that that are going on. However, something else that's happening, and here's going straight into this topic. There was a package that I don't know if you guys knew came out today by Joe Biden. So here's another thing. As you see, Joe Biden scolds media over the economy. Start reporting it the right way. Man, now look on the next picture. This is what's headed towards our economy. You understand? This type of crisis is headed towards our economy. How can you boast of a great economy while running on this? But even with that being said, this is from Newsweek. It reads, the Department of Defense said in a press release on Wednesday that the aid made possible through previously approved presidential drawdown authority would help to meet Ukraine's critical security defense needs. The DoD said the package features an unspecified number of Stinger aircraft missiles, tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided tow missiles, and air defense components. So this is what happens. Oh, okay, I don't know why I just skipped down that way. And if you wonder what I'm reading from, it says that the Biden administration announces a new $50 million, I believe that is million, military aid package to Ukraine. $250 million, y'all, is finna go aid Ukraine. And they're talking about all kinds of missiles and whatnot. So it's giving them, over 15 million rounds of small arm ammunition, alongside munitions for high mobility artillery rocket systems, national advanced surface to air missile systems, and ammunition and 155 millimeter and 105 millimeter artillery rounds. Additionally, the package contains Javelin and AT-4 anti-armor systems and spare parts, medical equipment maintenance, and other ancillary equipment. Yeah, okay. They arming them pretty good, though, I will say, for $250 million of our money. So, something to break them off with. The package was announced while the fate of the President Joe Biden's request for $60 billion in additional funding for Ukraine hangs in the balance over mounting Republican resistance to aid and attempts to tie any funding to unrelated GOP U.S.-Mexico border policy demands. Shit. Now, here's the thing that they're trying to do about that. The American public are telling you that the border is an issue. We could look at this picture on the screen and see a crisis. There's a clear-cut crisis right there. So when you're putting your people in dire straits as such, no, you just can't say, hey, we are booming, man. The economy's no, it's not. It really is not. And there's something else about, what old Joe is feeling, talking about get it right. Well, I believe everybody is getting it right. And y'all let me know. Am I tripping?
About the economy, sir, what's your outlook on the economy next year?
All good. Take a look. Start reporting it the right way.
You think that a president, any president, is absolutely immune to criminal prosecution? Any president at all?
I can't think of one.
Mr. President, did you ask for a ceasefire today?
I had a private conversation. I did not ask for ceasefire.
So, basically the usual same old, get it right. And, that's, I guess, from all intents and purposes, Zelensky could say, well, hey, I think your economy is doing great. All this money that we still keep winning and getting over here from y'all is still working out. So, I mean, didn't get 60 billion, but you still got 250 million. In war assistance. Meantime, there's a whole crisis going on at home. And this crisis is going, well, it can no longer go ignored. So, but what's funny is the response to it. Let me see, let me find this. Let me find this story here. It's New York. There we go. Okay, because Eric Adams actually, kind of made a little response to the buses that are going, that have been going up to New York, and I guess also in Chicago to that regard from certain like Texas and whatnot. Well, it looks like Eric Adams is pushing back somewhat. Now, this is kind of odd, though, because, New York and Chicago, here's the problem with the being a sanctuary city thing. You've already opened up the door to being a sanctuary city. There is no cap on no sanctuary city in this. I mean, you can't, I guess you could put an artificial one on there, but for the cities who are not sanctuary cities, the states who do not participate in that ideal, I don't have no problem with them getting these people up out of their districts. It makes total sense. However, here's the problem. Now they're going to flood the zone in these Democratic-led areas. And what do the Democratic leadership, especially the black bootlicks, have to do? Toe the line. So you have to open the doors, and I guess as much as you can, make everything about Republicans and make it about politics and all of this. When the real truth of the matter is, we are talking about illegal invaders.
Teresa, Natasha, Mayor Eric Adams announcing an executive order just about an hour ago. Let's break it down. It will require three things. First, it will require that charter buses transporting migrants give New York City at least 32 hours advance notice that they are arriving. Two, it will require that these charter buses arrive only between 8:30 a.m. and 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. And three, all buses can only drop off migrants at one designated spot. Mayor Eric Adams says bus companies that fail to do so could face a Class B misdemeanor, possible fines, a lawsuit, and these buses could be impounded. This comes after 14 buses arrived from Texas in just one night last week, the highest number recorded by the arrival center. And in just the last 2 weeks, more than 7,200 migrants arrived here in the city. Also last night, migrants being flown into New York City had their flight diverted due to the fog, and so they were loaded onto buses, which arrived this morning at around 1 a.m. Mayor Adams was joined by the mayors from Chicago and Denver, who all condemned Texas Governor Greg Abbott for flooding their cities with migrants.
No, contraire, mon frere. See, here's the thing. They just took action to not allow your bad decision-making affect them. And this is the reality of being a sanctuary city. You made yourself susceptible to this. And let's be clear about how we even got here to this plan to begin with. The plan is, let's flood the zone to try to replace the base, which is the black vote. So look at how it turns out. You got a bunch of migrants coming in here. And here's another story that even popped up on the radar. It's like the Senegal, they're giving away packages. Yeah, they're giving away packages of some sort. Let me see, where is this story? Okay, yeah. Let me finish this, and then I gotta read you this story because this is crazy.
And also had a request for the federal government. All three mayors are asking that the federal government provide additional federal aid to come up with a plan to resettle migrants across the country, and for the feds to expand work authorization so migrants can get to work faster.
But this is a national problem.
So they can get to work faster? Shouldn't you be getting New Yorkers to work, though? Like, there's people in New York that could probably use that type of facility. I mean, I'm just going out on a limb and say that I'm pretty sure there are citizens, especially foundational Black American citizens out there, who could utilize some help like that. I mean, just a thought. But hey, what do I know? I am not a New Yorker.
This has only been exacerbated by Governor Abbott's cruel, inhumane politics, and that requires additional national solutions. The federal government must.
Well, see, we wouldn't have an overload of illegals in New York if it was not for President Joe Biden running on them coming in and flooding the zone. And then there's other organizations out here funding these people to come here. So this is a very, very big anti-Black agenda. It's big business at the same time, but it is very much a humongous it's a anti-Black coalition. That is what we are witnessing right now. You understand? And especially that's why the tethers, they feel some kind of way right now because they actually have to work for theirs. And we ain't handed them nothing. So that's the problem with them. They can't just blend in with us and then start getting handouts. No. We are this delineation thing is a beast, ain't it? Let's hear more of this.
Take responsibility and lead on this humanitarian crisis instead of leaving it for cities and localities to handle.
Now, the mayor of Chicago said that he also instituted similar rules requiring certain drop-off times, and it prompted Abbott to then send buses of migrants to the suburbs outside of Chicago. Some now voicing concern that something similar would happen in the suburbs here in New York as well. Teresa and Natasha?
All right, Morgan, thank you.
Now ain't they right? You know what I'm saying? How ain't they right? Now, where is this? Now, and real quick, just thinking of what we are seeing. This story was crazy, and I saw this earlier today. Pseudo-legitimate Sinhalese travel agencies offer complete packages for migrants crossing. Excuse me. For migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. Let me read a little bit of this for y'all. So migrants are being offered complete packages. Wow. To the U.S. border with Mexico by a pseudo-legitimate travel agency sprouting up in Senegal, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials. The travel agencies are run out of Senegal's capital city of Dakar and tout visa-free travel to Europe and then to Mexico. Once in North America, customers are connected to a smuggling organization that will help them cross the southern U.S. border illegally, according to the U.S. official. Quote, they'll sell complete packages to connect them to a smuggling organization that will then facilitate their movement up to the border. Wow, you can't be serious. Oh, wow. Let's see. CBC is working with partners throughout the hemisphere and around the world to really make sure that we are bolstering people's access to protections in the right ways and taking action to prevent people from trying to exploit different travel mechanisms. The smuggling organizations have built out a large bus line in the northwestern Mexican state of Sonora, sending dozens of buses a day to random spots along the U.S.-Mexico border to facilitate, quote, migration, according to the official. These smugglers are recklessly putting migrants into harm's way in remote locations across the border onto the tops of trains or into the waters of the Rio Grande. Wow. We continue to go after the smugglers and are implementing new measures to impose consequences on transportation companies, including bus and van lines used by smuggling organizations and nefarious actors to move migrants throughout northern Mexico and to our southwest border. Let's see. It says our CBC and our federal partners need additional funding from Congress so that we can continue to effectuate consequences for those who do not use the established pathways. Well, you have a bunch of people who are in about 5 to 10 years having little kids here talking about how they're dreamers. So, without acting immediately, deportation needs to happen immediately. This is an invasion that you have to cut off the faucet of America bleeding at some point, or you run the risk of just imploding. And how are the odds that all of this movement coming here is right after the pandemic has pretty much went away? And not only that, though, the questions and the stuff that's coming out from that right now. We have all these people coming over here, and nobody is thinking twice about, well, have they been jabbed up and whatnot? Well, of course, they're not concerned about it now, because now they're coming to find out that certain things was true, that these people were saying that they were calling conspiracy theorists and having people's channels struck down and medical information strikes and stuff like that. And it's coming to find out that these folks was right. But it is what it is, I guess. Let's see. This story right here, though, it goes to say the arrest of migrants from countries such as Senegal, Mauritania. I don't know what that means. I don't know where that's at. China and India entering via Mexico ballooned to 214,000 during the 2023 fiscal year. Good grief, according to U.S. Customs Border and Protection data. The staggering amount was triple the number of migrant encounters from Asia and Africa in the fiscal year of 2022, which was 70,000, according to CBP statistics. Senegalese people accounted for more than 9,000 arrests in Tucson, Arizona from October 1st to December 9th, where agents have encountered migrants in about 4 dozen Eastern Hemisphere countries. The agency reported last week that Border Patrol agents encountered nearly 250,000 migrants at the southern border in just November. That's up from October's 240,986 recorded encounters. That is insane. That is an insane amount of people flooding the border. And I thought that's all I'll have to read. That because now you got other countries flooding our country an economic boom for them. I mean, you talking about a super duper grift. I mean, that grift is being that they call us, oh, you FBA grift. Wait, you can't be serious. Oh, that's a cold grift right there. Oh, that is a cold one. Now, and so speaking of this crisis, let me see. Let me find this other video here. Here it is. I think. Yes. There we go. Let me get this in there.
We have some breaking news. The suburbs reaching a breaking point after busloads of migrants are arriving there instead of Chicago.
Casey Cronus joining us live from Ogilvie Transportation Center, where a new group of migrants sent to the suburbs just arrived. Casey.
Natalie and Scott, this is all unfolding in just the last several minutes. We noticed some migrants who had just exited Ogilvie. They were wearing shorts and T-shirts, some of them wrapped in blankets. We went inside, and we'll have some video to show you in a moment. But one of our Spanish-speaking photographers was asking them where they had just come from. They said they didn't know what town or what suburb they were dropped off in, but they just boarded the train and just arrived here at Ogilvie Transportation Center. We did also see an OEMC vehicle outside. Some of those migrants are still in the lobby waiting for guidance on what to do next. The group that our photographer was chatting with said they had come from Ecuador originally. Some were asking him what street this
Yo, are you kidding me? That is insane. Cyberdyne 100, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate that. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you and yours. I appreciate you. As always, thank you so much. Cyberdyne 100. And we got Derek Parker in the house. I see you as well. We got Patricia Slade in the building. I see you. We got Dre in the house. Dre in the house from Vegas. All right. Dre in the house from Vegas. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here as well. And Geechee Gold in the house. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, yes, indeed. And DL in the house. Troops for the World War. Shit, you know. I just remember them tanks we was looking at years ago. All them little small urban warfare looking tanks that were all lined up on them trains about 10 years ago. So this makes you kind of wonder.
This was because they have relatives who are coming to pick them up. Now, all of this has been happening in the last week with migrants taking trains to Ogilvy from various suburbs. It comes after Mayor Johnson has implemented harsher penalties for bus companies that are not following the guidelines. In response, suburbs that don't have resources, including shelter, to handle an influx of migrants or coordinate their travel to the city have begun passing ordinances to discourage bus companies. Tonight, the village of Elburn has called a special meeting after 38 migrants were dropped off there last week, taking the village by surprise. Officials say an English-speaking liaison had traveled with them and distributed prepaid metro tickets to the new arrivals.
Prepaid metro tickets. So yeah, they setting them up. They are getting these folks over here and establishing them when they need to be getting them, ushering them right back onto a plane and flying them home, like they did them Haitians. In the Mix Radio, Black First in St. Louis. Shout out to you, my brother. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, remember how fast? I mean, man, they got them Haitians up out of here so fast down there in Texas that by the time the news actually was able to really get down there with all their equipment and stuff like that, the plane, they had to go down to Port-au-Prince. They had to catch them folks getting off the plane at the airport at Port-au-Prince. They got them folks out of here so fast, and it cleared that whole little mini camp out so fast, it was not funny. That thing didn't last but a few days. They was like, oh, this is a problem. Okay, we got you covered. Man, that was the fastest mass deportation. Everybody act like that didn't happen. Mass deportations and this and that. What are you talking about? We sat up here and watched these people get mass deported. They got some people out by the plane loads. I mean, and lickety split. So yeah, it can be done. Yeah, it can be done.
Most of them boarded a train to Ogilvy, while a handful were picked up by family members who live here. Meanwhile, Mayor Tim Balderman of New Lenox signed an executive order last week restricting unscheduled buses from stopping there. He says they've had police stationed at the metro station and have yet to receive any migrant buses, but they did find one migrant who was lost walking along the highway.
We did have one migrant the other day who was walking down Route 30. We were able to, with our fire department and police department, communicate with this migrant who had said they had been walking for a day and a half. They were told that they were in Chicago, and of course they weren't. So our fire department checked them to make sure they were healthy, make sure that there was no pending medical issue, and then we were able to put them on a train and send them to the city of Chicago.
Ooh-wee. Now, and that's all I'll really worry about playing for this. Oh man. See, that's a heck of a crisis. And that's a heck of a crisis to be trying to get around, to say, hey, the economy's doing great. Hey man, all of these freeloaders coming here there's nothing good happening with the economy other than it being overloaded. I mean, you are breaking the back of the economy, literally. And you got some of these brain dead Negroes that will literally come out here and try to tell us Joe Biden didn't run on no open borders policy. No, he didn't. No, Joe Biden didn't run on no open borders now. And I'm like, okay, you're really going to say that to me, the guy who literally runs this particular clip all the time?
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Now, I guess things ain't all so well, because there is a little issue that they're facing down there, and I believe this is in New York as well. And this is how somebody's year is going to end, because just really kind of puts things in perspective, that this is a cycle that you started when we're already in the midst of a nationwide homeless crisis with our own unhoused citizens of the United States of America. And now we're adding to the problem.
New York City is evicting 3,500 migrant families from the shelters where they are currently housed. The New York Times reports families who've been at the shelters longer than 60 days will have to reapply for the shelter beds. Educators fear hundreds of migrant children will be forced to change schools or face long commutes. They say it could be the biggest disruption to education since the pandemic.
Wow. I mean, you're talking about just endless burden. Endless burden. And, I'm sure people would say, hey, well, man, what about your city? Well, let me bring you guys to Portland real quick, because we got this some kind of, and when I see stuff like this, it makes me wonder, not to put on my tinfoil fedora, but it just, it makes you wonder, are they testing things? And you understand the certain environments needed for certain, I guess, if you were trying to test certain, say, bio warfare or bio weapon or something like that, you would look at the ideal conditions, and some homeless populations might look like that. Let me see. Let me get this. Bring it in here. Okay. Because there is a very interesting situation going on here.
Is now warning those who live and work in the area to take caution. As Blair Best reports, homeless people. So much for joining us. I'm Brittany Falkers. The Multnomah County Health Department is now warning those who live and work in the area to take caution. As Blair Best reports, homeless people are among those most at risk of catching it.
For people living on the streets of Old Town, staying clean is a full-time job.
It is pretty overwhelming. You gotta juggle all that,
We just hope to God that we either have wipes.
And now more than ever, late last week, the Multnomah County Health Department issued this public health warning after increased cases of an illness called Shigella were found in Old Town, including among those living outside and in shelters.
I got it. It was awful.
It spreads through fecal matter. Symptoms include fever and vomiting and can last 3 to 10 days.
Now, the transference of this disease, or whatever this is, the very first way that it gets transferred is crap, fecal matter. I don't understand how are you coming into contact? What's happening here? But this is a spreading thing. What is happening here? So yeah, something about this doesn't sound right, or maybe it just ain't right. I'm not sure which one it is.
I spent Christmas at Providence Hospital. This is not a game, right?
Michael found out he had Shigella after checking himself into a detox facility.
Then when I went to Fora Health, I couldn't hold any food down. It's gross, but soiled my clothes. It's disgusting, right? To the point where they weren't medically equipped for it.
They sent him to the hospital.
And I spent December 20th through Christmas on an IV antibiotic, right? 8 hours at a time. I couldn't even leave my room because it's that contagious, right?
County health officials say Shigella spreads very easily. Even a small amount is enough to make someone sick. So if you live or work in Old Town, wash your hands often and remove shoes before going inside your home or tent.
Or even just sharing a cigarette with someone that you don't know, right? Yeah. Sharing a vaporizer pen, if it has fecal matter on it, and you ingest that, you get that infection, right?
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Oh, maybe I shouldn't laugh. But wait. What the hell did he just say? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sharing a cigarette with someone that you don't know, right? Yeah. Sharing a vaporizer pen, if it has fecal matter on it, and you ingest that, you get that infection, right?
And
oh, Lord. Oh, no. You ingest it, and then you get the fecal matter on it, and then you end up getting it, right? You're sharing a vape pen with somebody who would have doo-doo on the tip. What are we talking about? Oh, man. Oh, Edward Dookie Hands? What are we talking about? What are we really talking about? I'm confused. Oh, man. Oh, because I'm like, wait, if you're hitting a cigarette, you're smoking a cigarette, you're smoking a vape pen, usually people wiping off, they'll wipe their stuff off or something, or like a cup of it would be the same thing. But truth be told, I can't say I've ever seen anybody doing that downtown. But I mean, hell, I guess. Oh, Shigella, ladies and gentlemen, Shigella. That Shigella. What, boy? Wow.
And Michael's not alone. We found others
he's
sick
not
with
alone.
similar symptoms.
Side effects: fever, fatigue, vomit.
I was just puking and just going to the bathroom.
It is tough for folks outside when there's not access to clean bathrooms.
Now, one way homeless people try and stay clean out here is by going to the Behavioral Health Resource Center. Here off the corner of Northwest 5th and Gleason is a white van where they hand out tickets for people to use the hygiene services there.
Wow. Go over there. And that's the bus station. If you didn't, well, you probably wouldn't know, but that's the bus station downtown Portland. So the majority of where all of this drug use is going on is right there at the bus station. And that's typical. Now, if you look back in the distance, you see that little orangish, reddish tower. That is the train station. Although they are close in proximity, now you don't see no homeless camps on that side of the of those two facilities. It's like night and day. Night and day. But this right here, you won't see a lot of these downtown, but you will see this type of thing. It's not foreign because this is a heavily populated area of drug use.
There, so you can have a healthy place to kick it for a second.
It's a service many are now coming to rely on.
Take a shower and try to get new socks, keep myself cleansed as possible.
Now, if you think you have Shigella, you're going to want to get tested, and you can do that by going to a local clinic. In Northwest Portland, Lara Best, KGW.
I think if you got Shigella, you're going to know it. What they described, I'm pretty sure you're going to know you got it. Shigella. So in international fairness, I can't help but notice when I see certain stories, there is something to be said about fleers, family. And fleers are a very ungrateful type of group. Check this out.
You couldn't make this up. Asylum seekers have been stopped at airports in the UK trying to go back to the country that they are apparently fleeing in order to see their relatives at Christmas. Now, I thought this was a joke.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, y'all? Oh, man. The nature of a fleer is just egregious. We're running. We have to flee our homes because we're persecuted because they're trying to harm us. Well, we going back for the holidays, y'all.
When I first heard it, but no, sadly, this isn't some made-up narrative. It comes from Border Force Chief Phil Douglas, who was talking about how the Border Force carry out their outbound checks during Christmas time, and he just happened to mention that this was going on. Have a listen.
We do find a lot of people who, for example, have claimed asylum in this country and are heading back to their home country for holidays, which obviously isn't allowed.
So that was him talking on LBC. So these are people who have come to this country to seek sanctuary and claim asylum, right? But according to the definition of asylum seeker, an asylum seeker is a person who has left their country and is seeking protection from persecution and serious human rights violations in another.
Now, look at the definition of asylum. That doesn't apply to any of these moochers now, does it? Ain't none of these folks, they coming over here to better their life and better their pockets. You better know it. You understand? Oh, my Lord. Oh, yeah, family. I had to hit you with that because, like I said, I was all sick last week, so I didn't get to hit you off with any pre-Christmas vibes or whatnot. So I wanted to give you the holiday vibes, even though a few days late. I think I see Rudolph. Cybertime 100. That equals fleer. Thank you. Yes, it does.
other country, but who hasn't yet been legally recognised as a refugee and is waiting to receive a decision on their asylum claim. So if they're claiming asylum according to the definition, how come, if they are genuine and truly fleeing persecution from their country, why are they trying to get back there on a plane for Christmas? It's hilarious. They're obviously not scared of flying, which begs the question as to why they didn't just take a plane in the first instance to get to the UK. Why come via a small boat and pay over the odds to take a trip via an overpriced, dangerous dinghy when a flight would be so much cheaper and considerably safer? Why indeed? Could it be something to do with the hotels, iPad, cash in hand, food and shelter? Look, I'm not saying that genuine asylum seekers shouldn't be helped, but
now, she's talking about the UK. How fitting is that? Like, oh, okay, so see, this is a worldwide hustle, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've said it, and I put it on my posted it on my X page today, or that might have been yesterday. But this is big business. This invasion is very, very big business, by way of anti-blackness being the biggest of business. You understand what I'm saying? Anti-blackness is, and it benefit the anti-blackness against us specifically is a worldwide coalition. And we can see that hands down. But it's very funny looking over here at the UK and seeing how all of these ungrateful immigrants that are not asylum seekers, because clearly, if you were looking to go pay your family a visit for the holidays, then obviously you are not in too much of danger to go back to your homeland. You are just fleeing to try to come up. And that's all that is. Nothing more, nothing less. You understand what I'm saying?
But the problem with all of this is that it makes things worse for genuine asylum seekers and creates a feeling of anger amongst British taxpayers like myself, working hard to make ends meet, while many disingenuous so-called asylum seekers save the money that they're given by the British taxpayer to pay for a flight to go back to the country that they're supposedly fleeing persecution from. I mean, it makes a mockery of the UK. They must be laughing at us. It's actually hilarious. So what will the bleeding heart liberals see wokerati the
Now that's it's funny she said that too. Y'all, for those of y'all who follow my good brother Black Alpha Network, he actually played a clip a couple of weeks ago on his broadcast that showed how these immigrants was feeling. I believe they were from somewhere in the Middle East or Africa or somewhere like that, and they were pretty much like, we don't care. We don't care. You know, we don't care about what's going on with the Americans. And they don't care. They are just coming over here trying to get their stuff on. So just like she's saying, taking advantage of them over there. Yeah. And them folks do not care. That is the definition of a tether outright. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Magic Dragon Lady, flawless in the house. Always good to see you in the building. Thank you for being here, as always. But these folks, you know, it's a cold game, ain't it? Tia to you in the building. I see you, my good sister. Always good to see you in the house. And yes, thank you, Magic Dragon. I do feel I feel better. I feel better than what I probably sound. Because I'm still getting over the little head thing, but you know, a lot better. A lot better. Sizzler Capleton 1 in the building. Shout out to you. Biden just dropped off some more. Yeah, you already know. You already know. In a major way. In a major way. Sunny 81 in the building. Shout out to you, my good sister. I appreciate you being here. And Cynthia Newman in the house. Shout out to you. Oh, and Miss D at Suite 201. Shout out to you. I see you in the building. Appreciate you being here. and Black Spider said, one big hustle. Big facts.
Gary Lineker spoke of
International.
How can they defend it? Are they going to carry on opining for these people, picking on words like invasion and calling anyone who dares to point out the insincerity of many of those who come to our shores illegally after chucking away mobile phones and any form of ID? So how will these so-called asylum seekers return to the UK? Are they going to do the dinghy thing again? Let them leave, but they can't come back. But the dinghy is just a drop in the ocean, pardon the pun. Don't get me started on our over-generous legal migration rules. Rishi Sunak is also making a mess of that, softening his stance on income required to come here. The target he set will now be incremental, so the full requirement will be applied in 2025, a date when he may have already left office, as the likelihood of a general election before then is high, as is the...
Wow. So they're putting things in place. Now, and I really wanted to show this UK piece because, again, when you're dealing with that other conflict that's being funded by American taxpayers as well, that's going on over there in the Strip, when you're dealing with situations involving that trifecta of Great Britain and the American government and that other government that you can't boycott in certain states. So I guess it's illegal to technically boycott certain either businesses or that, may support a certain stance or certain religious party or affiliation or something of the sort. Somehow that now is spreading around well, I guess, who knows how long some of these things have been in place, but, it's very interesting that these things are targeted at American citizens who are not property to that government. So we have always been led to believe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, but like I said, being led to believe, you know what? Do I have this in here? Let me see. Can I get this in here? Because I got to show you something. Actually, you know what? I don't even want to. Nah. Okay. We're going to do it like this. Because there's a little video of this. Another shield, another bisexual that I got to. I want to break this one down. Because this is. When I seen this, I'm like, okay, we're going right back to the foolishness now. Okay, so you guys just don't understand civics, and y'all just so stupid. But I can't stand when people get up there and then try to do the Democratic fast talking thing. So let's just slow this down.
Last night in my live, a sister came up, and she already had an attitude. I can't believe you're going to vote for Joe Biden. Can you name anything that he has done for our community? I said, yes, ma'am, I can. But
okay. Now, anything that he's done for our community. And of course, I would have to say a person should definitely be more specific when asked that question, because when you have individuals like this, then they're always going to be like, oh, okay, well, yes, I can, but. So let's hear some more.
the fact that you don't even realize what he has done for our community is telling. But that's okay. So I started naming some things, like the infrastructure bill. Insulin is capped at $35. Student loan forgiveness. She cut me off when I started talking.
Now, let's go back to refresh ourselves on what the actual question was.
And she already had an attitude. I can't believe you're going to vote for Joe Biden. Can you name anything that he has done for our community?
Oh, okay. That was the question. Can you name anything that he has done for our community? Let's hear what these answers are again.
I said, yes, ma'am, I can. But the fact that you don't even realize what he has done for our community is telling. But that's okay. So I started naming some things, like the infrastructure bill.
The infrastructure bill was not done with our community. There are no black steel worker unions. There are no black pipe fitter unions. There are no black carpenter unions of my knowledge. There are no black division of Teamsters that I'm aware of. I don't believe any of these things exist. And the electricians. There might actually be something with black electricians. I think there's an association of some sort, but I'm not sure if it is a union. But nonetheless, like, where are the unions that are making these monies that get these government contracts and will get these local government contracts as well? And because when we see people say things like this, oh, with the infrastructure bill, okay, well, I could tell you who's not getting the money here. And, truth be told, with this infrastructure bill, where have you actually seen it taking place? There may be construction. There's no major construction going on nowhere. So with this new infrastructure bill, what actually is being created? Now, let's just think of the percentage of how many black families are affected by the infrastructure bill. Well, I guess in some regard, infrastructure bills have been ways of dismantling black neighborhoods, i.e. the freeway. So running all those freeways, that's where the beginning of that, I guess you could say, tearing up black families in the black neighborhoods and whatnot, tearing up the resources of that neighborhood, tearing away all the recreational resources around that neighborhood. No, the infrastructure bill didn't really do nothing for the black community. I can't say it did. Moving on.
Bill. Insulin is capped at $35. Student loan.
Insulin. Diabetes is not blackabetes. Because I'm assuming when somebody said our community, they meant black folk. So insulin being capped. Diabetes is not blackabetes, ma'am. You would have been better off saying he did something for sickle cell. At least that's something that primarily affects us. But, of course, since it primarily affects us, he ain't saying nothing about no sickle cell. Go figure.
Forgiveness.
Student loan forgiveness has not yet been forgiven for quite a few people, my wife being included, by the way. So this student loan forgiveness business, it has worked for some. I've seen some people say that they have gotten some of their student loan white. But I have not seen that as a personal thing. But who knows? Again, that's not our community thing. That is an American citizen thing. And we have American citizens and American non-citizens, or non-citizens, period, who are getting laws passed on their behalf over citizens like us. So that's not a benefit. So no, we have to decline to agree on that right there.
She cut me off when I started talking about the federal judges.
The federal judges. Well, you could have went on to continuously talk about the DA. And who else? Oh, yeah. The head of the DNC. supposed head of, I mean, the face of the DNC right now, who looks like he, you know, what is that dude's name? Oh, anyway, it's irrelevant because he's just the face of the DNC and he's just a puppet. And he clearly he's pulling the "I'm a black man" thing. And, no, you're a them thing. And so let that be that. These folks like to start coming over flaunting their blackness when it's convenient. You can miss me with that.
You need to stop because I already know. Well, ma'am, why are you asking me? This woman got upset with me because I was able to answer her question.
Now even with that, so you're standing on that as if you're saying so you all understand what this woman is saying. Ketanji Brown Jackson was somehow for our community. Look at the look on her face, being so proud of pushing symbolism on black folks as if it is literally a tangible. She got the dark complexion or brown complexion. She even got the faux dreads or whatever. She got the big sister girl earrings. But that girl just as Oreo as ever, man. Don't you ever get it twisted. I mean, I've seen so many like this before. This woman right here probably just a stone. I mean, I'm just talking, you know, nothing concrete that I can say. But I mean, this one right here rubs me as a stone cold agent. You understand what I'm saying? That's just how this one rubs me. Like it's too black. Maybe that's what it is for me. It's too black. It's like, you know, there's some things that feel natural, and then there's some things that do not feel natural. And I'm just saying, this chick right here does not feel natural. It feels off to me. It feels like she doesn't really rock her hair like that. She probably dates a certain kind of persuasion, if not already married to one. I mean, I'm just saying, man. Am I tripping? I see some of y'all saying you agree. I don't know about this one here, family. I'm just saying. Mary Evans in the building. It is always great to see you in the building for the Wednesday night broadcast. Oh, yeah. Somebody said you did. Okay. I am feeling much better. Like I said, my voice is still janky, but you know, we doing what it do. Kermit in the building. Good to see you as well, brother. Excuse me. Boy, still dealing with this thing, y'all. Now, going back to this, but like I said, just take a look at the vibe is all wrong, man. It is just all wrong for me.
I said, okay, I'll take a step back. Let me know what Biden has done to you that got you so upset.
Uh-oh. Now that right there, I would have to say is an extremely dishonest question. I mean, because what is Joe Biden doing? You know, are you serious, sister? And I would have said you could be believable had you would have led with the honest truth. But that move right there, a dead giveaway for me, man. Oh no, ma'am. What sorority are you from? Were there any other black women in the sorority that you pledged? I mean, I'm talking about this one. Something is not hitting, fam. It is not. You know how we know ours. We know our folk. And I don't believe this woman is no Caribbean. I believe she kind of on that homegrown butter biscuit eating I can't stand us type of tip. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Like she one that probably had a whole black family experience and couldn't stand it. But now she's over here finna play sister girl. And and try to sell it.
You couldn't name anything. Next, I had a brother come up. Here's the reasons why he was upset with Biden. Because Biden didn't pass the lynching bill, and Biden didn't pass the George Floyd bill. So I said,
he didn't pass the lynching bill. Well, we know he passed the lynching bill. That, and again, whoever was speaking to her clearly was not as educated as people that she would avoid debating publicly. And just look at how the size of these people's profiles as well. So that's how you know they're being set up. Because remember how I told you how they had the whole TikTok rollout of the shields. And so this is just another TikTok shield who they're going to give a big platform to, has a big platform on Twitter. And, who, for all intents and purposes that we know, it's a funded campaign. Oh, she's an Yvette Cornell lover? Oh, well, that's say it all then. Oh, got it.
sir, I'm a little confused because Biden did sign the lynching bill.
Yes.
It passed Congress. He signed it last year. But if that mattered so much to him.
Now, here's actually, now, and this is the part to where that the softball questions that she was getting was to set this up. Because, okay, you have an anti-lynching bill, the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, and there were no charges brought against Carolyn Bryant. We all saw that part, ma'am. So the fact that you're going to try to skirt around the real situation and be, I'm kind of confused because, he did sign that. Here is the one win that I can show you, which is not a win at all because in all actuality, all of these lynchings that have been going on have been deemed self-deletions. So if you're going to have it deemed a self-deletion, then there is no lynching. Therefore, the bill is null and void because it won't be enforced. So we are not going to get happy and hype over something that can't even be enforced and won't be enforced by especially this current administration.
Why didn't he know that? Let's talk about the George Floyd bill. I said, sir, first off, Biden doesn't pass any bills. He signs them into law. He can't sign anything into law without it passing Congress.
Wrong, because there's the executive order and also his commission, his White House commission, that bypasses Congress. So miss me with all of that, ma'am. Because he had a and you understand what having the White House commission and it not having to go through Congress, it means then that the White House and whoever is president, especially Joe Biden, would only be being met with the questions of acting on that law or acting on that and seeing what that place, what that little office is really doing. So that's why he wanted to get up from under that. So now she's going to start doing the whole, well, he can't pass a bill thing. And what y'all don't understand is civics. Because, when we had our little Democratic Shield meeting, and sister girl from Texas was just telling her how it is. And so here's our new talking points. And we're going to tell you that But hey, the George Floyd bill couldn't pass because, them Republicans, they didn't, with them extreme MAGA Republicans, they didn't want to pass it.
It has to pass the House and Senate. But it did pass the House, it just didn't pass the Senate. He still didn't understand what I was saying. Well, he could have did an executive order. I said, Sir, Biden did sign an executive order. I literally debunked everything this young man said.
Wait. What was the executive order there? Wait, what? Fact sheet. President Biden signed historic executive order to advance effective, accountable policing and strengthen public safety. Oh, that was the other nothing burger I guess you're referring to. There's nothing in that bill. What are you talking about? Executive order, he did. See, yeah, it's gonna be a big miss with the whole George Floyd thing because he didn't have the house. No, see, that means what Joe Biden purposely did is put his little George Floyd act in position to never go anywhere. Police Oversight Commission, he put it in a position to not go anywhere. You don't get no credit for that, ma'am, and you're not finna sell that to us. No.
Executive order. I literally debunked everything this young man said. If you don't understand how the government works, Civics 101, you're easily misled. If you don't do basic research, you really can make an ass out of yourself. I simply digress.
Oh man, and the black feminist. Man. Boy, if you got Lord, you can't get out the door with, your intelligence is just so stupid because, you so stupid, and I don't know why y'all so stupid. You think you know something, but you don't know nothing because you think that you gonna vote for an independent. Well, you is just stupid. Good grief. Oh man, it's the spirit of the septum ring. The spirit of the septum ring, family. I mean, it is real. Absolute babble, Cyberdyne. Absolute babble. And, I would have to say that's boule babble. But hey, I ain't going to hell. I'm not going to hell. Now moving on. There was something that I came across on Twitter that I believe this was from last year. And this right here again speaks to the whole wave of invasion and the nature. And this is, these are legal immigrants in this particular story, but this is what we talk about. This is the epitome of tethering. And showing how tethering is so overtly disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this story is crazy.
Yeah, Caribbean business owners, artists, musicians, and so much more are joining right here at the Prospect Park Boathouse to celebrate their heritage and Juneteenth. It's a cultural celebration for Brooklynites of all ages. I Am Caribbean, in collaboration with the Prospect Park Alliance, have come together for today's Juneteenth and One Love Little Caribbean Day right here in our backyard. We're told that each artist, dancer, musician, and vendor participating in the day's celebration come from Caribbean roots, like Jamaica, Trinidad, and elsewhere.
None of this has anything to do with Juneteenth.
1,000 New Yorkers came out to hit the dance floor, enjoy traditional Caribbean food and drinks today, and shop all sorts of products created by Caribbean American vendors.
All on our holiday. That is about slavery and the emancipation of the slaves from chattel slavery in this country. And here are the Caribbeans coming in to say, let us get our sale on and our self-celebration on a day that is representing the people who made it all possible for us to even be here.
Our crews caught up with the organizer of today's celebration to chat all things the intersection between Caribbean heritage and this Juneteenth holiday.
Okay, let's see if this lady, how she explains how their thing intersects with Juneteenth.
It's really about creating that space where we can bring our piece of Blackness, of being Caribbean, while sort of overlaying that on Juneteenth. It's really about creating that space where we can bring our piece of Blackness, of being Caribbean, while sort of overlaying that on Juneteenth. So, and that's a very specific and unique experience. Being Black is not one thing, it's not a monolith. And so today we're celebrating Afro-Caribbean culture, but not only Afro-Caribbean because I'm half Indo-Caribbean. So Indo-Caribbean culture, just Caribbean culture, heritage, Brooklyn, Juneteenth, everything. We love it here.
And
I didn't hear one word about Juneteenth at all. I didn't hear one word about what Juneteenth is about, why we have Juneteenth, and they're just here getting money. That's why we say hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
That is super duper grimy.
Caribbean is hosting events all month long in honor of Caribbean American Heritage Month. You can head to our website at news12.com for more. In Prospect Park, Jordan Kassane, News 12.
Absolutely grimy. Grimy. That is insane, man. That is absolutely insane. And you're trying to sell us that? You kidding? No freaking way, man. No. And I mean, I guess, you know, they like to get they like to have these people up here that they say represent us when we know they don't. You know, these, like I said, some of these people, and I say it often, they hate black folk. Like people who like this, who stood up there with Kathy Hochul, knowing that this is a big El Switcheroo burger. Let's get Al Sharpton out there, and we're gonna have a reparations commission in New York. Now, I just showed you how New York gets down. They're over there already trying to come up on Juneteenth. You think that ain't a prelude to this? I mean, you kidding? Look at all them. Look at Al Sharpton. Boy, that waterhead is super duper happy. Oh boy, oh Master Becky, oh Kathy, Master Kathy, Mystery Kathy, good to me. You good people. Every last one of them leaders, or so-called, or the misleaders, every last one of them, y'all get one of them. Sambo. You know? Now, switching gears a bit. Switching gears just a little bit. I want to play y'all something And I found this to be kind of an interesting TikTok. Because people always talk crazy to foundational Black Americans. And you guys have no culture, and you guys are begging the white man, and you beg this and you beg for that, and you just need to work hard and stop complaining. Now you see our voice actually gets results. And now you get to talking like this.
So I either make this video in English or make it in Korean, but I chose English because apparently it's an international language, but yet nobody listens. All I see is just the Sudanese people talking about what's going on in Sudan, and I would just love for that to change. And I know that the world is full of problems right now, wars and crimes that you can't even speak of, right? You can't even speak of, that we've seen with our own eyes. But I really need from the world to have the same energy towards every crime that's been currently happening in Sudan, in Palestine, in everywhere, because horrible is still horrible.
Yeah. But, when all of that badness was happening to us, oh, that's what you, bullet bags. And seems to me like the world is keeping the same energy. You just didn't realize the world that you have sold your soul into believing in. Well, yeah, that's it.
War crime remains a war crime, no matter where you're from, what do you look like, or what nationality you hold. And us as humans, we need to have the same energy towards each and every violation of humanity there is. And I'm telling you today, I'm going to share what kind of violations are happening in Sudan. And I really hope for the rest of the humans to have that energy to talk about it and raise that awareness. And for us as humans to stick together, because obviously from what we've seen this year is that we've all we got. No one else is listening. And you know what I was thinking?
Yeah, I don't know who's we and the we humans thing. See, that's just it. Don't know what you're talking about. We humans and we all one and we all need to see you. Who are you referring to that you want to speak? It almost sounds like you want the voice of foundational Black Americans. Mary Evans said, I thought the Ethiopian Sudanese weren't Black. I know the Somalians are I know that Somalians feel the same way. We're not Black. And now all of a sudden, oh, we're all human. Well, no, we too busy being Black over here.
I never actually came out and said, I have a mental health issue or I'm suffering mentally. Because the way I was raised in Sudan is that you fix your own problems. You don't ask people for help.
Well, I guess you need to get to it then, sweetheart, and go fix your own homeland because that ain't got nothing to do with us. Hold your own nuts.
If you have an issue, fix it yourself. So it was kind of a taboo. We never really talked about mental health. But I can just still see us as Sudanese are so humbled and proud that we're not asking for help, which we should. Because you know what? Our struggles and what we're going through matters too. So let me tell you.
Oh, nobody said it that it didn't, but just one problem.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
I mean, on the real.
Own your stuff, little girl. Own it.
Tell you about the humanitarian catastrophe, to say the least, that is going on in Sudan right now. 19 million children are out of school. Why? Because 6.7 million are displaced from Sudan. 70 to 80% of the hospitals are no longer operating. And there is more than 7,000 cases of cholera in Sudan. 24 million plus.
Man, you guys work hard and balling out and so smart and everything. I mean, man, that's a lot of people that ain't making it. Wow. But, we're too busy. Us Jareers over here are too busy being black. So I don't know how to help you. I mean, we're black and, you're Sudanese and not black and you were never a slave. And blueberry muffin. Just hold your own job. Oh, Lord, shout out to Blueberry Muffin in the house tonight. Good to see you as always, my good sister.
Need critical humanitarian aid, and 20.3 million are dying because of hunger. Once upon a time, we were called سلة الغذاء للعالم, which basically means we were the food basket of the world. We've been here for 8.
Well, I mean, time to get it on and popping. Say no to cheetah piss and bush meat.
Months now. This whole situation has been going on for 8 months. I've seen my own family get displaced from Sudan. My own cousins dropped out of school. Their whole entire hard work, effort in life, just saw it disappear like that. And I've been showing up to work for 8 months, acting like I can do this by myself.
Oh, stop. DM Sinister. DSM Sinister. Oh, girl doing the Kamala script. Black when convenient. Right. Well, she didn't even say nothing about being black. She's going over there on the we all human kick, which means white folks and subsequently black Americans.
But actually, we need the world to stand by us. We need the world to speak about Sudan and never shut the fuck up.
Hold your own nuts. Oh, no. Boy, don't they try to come hitch onto the wagon late, don't they? No, you was riding with that whole, we not black and all of this. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to do that one. We'll pass. Yeah, we'll pass. I mean, too bad what's happening over there in the Sudan. I mean, it definitely sucks. I most definitely could say that, but yeah, that's not our issue. So, moving along, minding our own black in America, not the Sudan. Maybe you can hit up Barack Obama or something since, he is African. But as far as we go over here, we are dealing with our own foundational Black American business. And so as some of y'all know, they have released Alice Walker's famous anti-Black man propaganda story, The Color Purple, which most of us grew up watching and seeing the original movie of it with Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover. And say they have since released a new reinvented version, which was a stage play musical, which now they have adapted to a movie and re-released or have released the Color Purple musical movie on Christmas. And I haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it. Because for me, it just makes me wonder about all of this timing. And I had a thought earlier today with The Color Purple coming out today. There was a person who passed last year who had a very big profile, especially here on YouTube, who a lot of the women who are going to and went to go see in caravans and in droves and supported nonstop the Color Purple movie and the movement here and making sure that some gender warring business make sure it kind of comes back into play, moving in for the next election cycle to separate black women from black men as a voting block and voting base. Well, I can't help but notice, you had Taraji P. Henson coming out complaining about being a black woman in Hollywood, not getting paid. And I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. And thinking about when they had to start filming this movie, there was a person by the name of Kevin Samuels who, because of his profile and a lot of the other people out here, and because he, number one, took all of his talking points from Jason Black, and then that same message repackaged coming out of Kevin Samuels was hitting millions. It's very interesting that right before, or I guess around the time that you'd be filming The Color Purple, Kevin Samuels is leaving the earth. Just in time for you to have it out for Christmas 2023. Just a thought. It's just a thought. And, the reason why I say Kevin C, because think about this. That whole manosphere, majority of that thing has fell apart. But what I will say is the conversation between especially black men and black women relationship-wise might have taken a more mature turn in time. And now I see with him being gone and then all the other ones being frauds, and then their, of course, persistent and consistent hatred of Jason Black, you can kind of put that whole conversation in a certain lane. And it facilitates room and platform for other people to get their gender warring BS off. Just like this. And so this sister actually has been doing a few TikTok videos based on how she's reading the body language of like Taraji Henson and Fantasia. And then it made, when I saw this, I was like, well, wow. This to me says a lot to me. And this is when Hollywood, like these people know. That's why Taraji kind of broke down. And then this new director, this African director, Oprah's real close with him. You just got to watch how the body language of this video is. But check this out.
Now we have more. Now notice how Oprah treats everybody during this press conference. Taraji is first, right? Now look at her eyes. She looks down when she's talking about the movie. She wasn't excited about it. Now you notice how Oprah is touching him. He's touching her back. He's excited. He loved the experience. He wants to do it again. Oh! Fantasia was surprised that Oprah touched her, to the point that Oprah removed her hand. Fantasia knows something. Danielle, she's new to the game. She doesn't know what's going on, but she's just excited to be there, and we're excited for her. Now, Taraji, notice her voice. It's not excited. It's not, glad to be there. She's fulfilling a contract. She's just trying to run down the clock and get out of there. And notice how her body is trying to escape before her voice. Look at that. She's just trying to get out there. Oprah, we're not talking to you right now. We need to back up Taraji like we should have backed up Monique. We need to stop remaking these movies because we don't want to see more.
I would have to agree. Now, there's actually more. And I'm glad that she did these little videos because these observations are very good. Very good solid observations. Here's the other one.
We're going to go over your body language. Let's look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears. But she's trying to be professional, but she leans into Oprah. Oprah pulls away. Fake laugh. We all know that's fake. That's fine. But they're trying to release that negative energy outside their bodies. Oprah is all closed up. She's not even trying to open up and was closing in on Oprah. Oprah pulls out, trying to find an escape, goes right behind Gandalf Brooks. And look at Taraji's face. She's just like not having it. And notice how Oprah is suddenly now opened up with her arms. And look at Fantasia's face. Look at Taraji as if we're almost to the ending of this. Don't worry. Something definitely happened here. And now look at how Oprah has her arms and her hand. You know, Oprah don't touch people like that. And then you see how loud they're singing.
That's pretty deep. And I will say, for everybody who went to go see it, you're a fan or you went to go see it to critique it. The gender warring madness for me, I just wasn't down with. And like I said, looking at the timing of it, it's going right into the 2024 election season. So it's perfect timing to try and draw a wedge in between black men and black women and get back to the big black man and the bigger long character. We need a bigger long back in the game. So kind of seemed like that type of thing is happening. Speaking of bigger long, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Like I said, speaking of bigger long. Yeah, family, we got to talk about this a little bit. So as y'all know, there have been some stories to come out about this man right here, who has also been part of the movie crowd and the movie scene. He put out, what is the name of that movie? For color, Woman Now Out Loosed. Oh boy, Woman Now Out Loose. All right. So, something, that's very interesting for me. And I look back at all of these individuals, because you kind of have to start remembering, oh man, all of these people are pretty much associated together. But think about Oprah, think about Tyler Perry, think about Lee Daniels. Which one of them don't have money to make sure that these people get paid? And especially in the Monique situation. They all had the money for it. Fast forward to now, with everybody who was involved, how don't they have top dollar money for top dollar actresses for a story that you're saying, oh, it's going to be Oscar nominated and award acclaimed? And I mean, come on, man. Now, see, my point about that is, why is it that no one says anything about a Tyler Perry or a Lee Daniels or these rich producers for not paying top dollar to black talent, to the black actors and actresses? They don't never get scrutinized for that. They need to have, they need to be paying Viola Davis the money that she deserves. Like when people are putting in that amount of work in their craft, and then they're not being compensated nearly how all of the other people within their tier of profession are being compensated, then you can't look at that and say, well, yeah, I don't know what that's about. It's about race. It's absolutely about race. So but what's sad is that you got these rich Negroes, especially some of these preachers, but these rich Negroes that for some reason always still want to poor mouth all of these black folk. Look at Diddy. Diddy has made a lot of people's finances, made it tumultuous because they wasn't getting paid right. He signed people to bad deals, predatory deals, and now you're hearing predatory behavior. Well, along with some of that behavior comes some of these other behaviors that we have heard about and have been suspected about Sean Diddy Combs. And so now we are hearing some new stories about him and T.D. Jakes' relationship. And, here's the thing that's really interesting, too, that I thought about. T.D. Jakes, who remembers when Mace actually stopped rapping? It was T.D. Jakes to where he was going, right? Now, fast forward to now, you're hearing about P. Diddy and T.D. Jakes. So it is just very interesting, the whole dynamic of their connection. But there's the stories that came out that said that, there's some funny sexcapades that this man has been part of and has been Rain Love. TD, take that. Take that. There's been some stories coming out that says that that he is a power bottom. Whatever the hell that means. All right, power bottom. More power to you, buddy. But this is how we first decided to respond to these allegations on, Christmas Eve.
Some of you logged in or come in out of concern. Some of you come in to hear what I'm going to say. All of you who expect me to address a lie, you can log off. I will not use this sacred day and this sacred pulpit to address a lie when I have a chance to preach a truth. I will stand straight up, head up, back straight, and preach the unadulterated, infallible word of God. Because that is what the pulpit is for. But there will be a time. So you can stop dragging people and arguing with people and fighting and just log off. All you do is just hit the button. Right there. Log off. There is no show here. In the Gospel of St. Matthew,
Now, the interesting thing about this story is that, he's not the first preacher to have had scandal around him, scandal in the midst, and somebody did a comparison video history repeating itself, I guess, in a sense. Y'all remember Eddie Long? And we got to talk about old Eddie. Yeah, we got to talk about that one. Because, from 2013 to 2023.
I want you to know, as I said earlier, I am not a perfect man. But this thing, I'm going to fight. And I want you to know one other thing with the pulpit. I feel like David against Goliath. But I got 5 rocks, and I haven't found one yet.
Head up, back straight, and preach the unadulterated.
Now that's interesting, to say the least. Now, the good sister posted this video on her Twitter. Sister Harriet. Yeah. So Sister Harriet Eve. This is something that when I see, get the little flashbacks of stuff like this, it always strikes me funny because I grew up around the church. I grew up in the church, so we saw a lot of things that go on, and to say that there is not a heavy black, well, I guess gay male presence over here in a lot of these churches is you be lying. Terry Jones in the house, I see in the building. Shout out, thank you for being here as well, brother. I appreciate it. So y'all gotta. I'm just looking at this from a different type of angle. And now that we know what we know about Eddie Long, everything was true. Not only that, it was even worse. He done gave a man that stuff. And so, you playing with people's health. And now he's gone off that thing. So, but this is a flashback to how TD Jakes responded back then.
There's probably not a person in America or around the world that does not know the recent tragedies that has gone on in New Birth, and that Bishop Eddie Long is up under severe scrutiny during this time. And I think that we as Christians should just pray. I think we should just pray. I think we should pray for everybody that is adversely affected. Everybody, just pray.
No. Everybody who's adversely affected, he's adversely affected. What are you talking about? And Blueberry Muffin, you are a nut. Oh my goodness. See, here's the thing. We're not going to say something. We're not going to say nothing. We was probably instructed that way. And we need to pray for everybody and all of this. What I want you to take notice of here is the emotional manipulation of basically saying nothing. What are you praying for? There's victims here. Praying is not what you need. You need action. You need justice. So pray for truth. That's funny. That's not the thing that he's talking about here. He's not talking about truth. He's talking about the blood.
Hey, cover them with the blood, cover them with prayer, lift them up in the name of Jesus and undergird them. Someone stand up. We're going to pray in the family in just a moment. Somebody said to me, you haven't come out and said anything publicly. I said, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. You can't make
There's nothing to say because, shoot, if it was me, I wouldn't want my dirt out there like that, you know?
great decisions with poor information. Until you can separate facts from conjecture, there is nothing to say. So you hold your peace, keep praying. When all of this is over, one thing's for sure, somebody, if not everybody, in it is going to need the blood. Come on, somebody.
No truth, no healing. Considering how you have victims here whose health, good health, maybe that, but you're just going to plead the blood. The emotional nothingness that is being leveraged here is beyond belief. And there are a lot of people out here that are like, man, you know, you can't talk about TD Jakes like that now, brother. Come on, brother. TD Jakes are good ones, man. You know, I mean, come on, brother. Man, let me tell you something. TD Jakes was placed in position just like everybody else. How does a man with no church move from West Virginia to Dallas, Texas, and build a humongous mega church to where all the celebrities pour into? You think that just happens? No. It was by design. And so, you know, when you have the Eddie Longs out there, this is all by design. I'd never forget. I probably in some of my like videotape archives somewhere, I got Eddie Long's ordination service when he became a bishop. I got that on tape somewhere. And you know, just thinking about it, like listen here. I know how these things work. So when I'm hearing these stories come up, I used to play in the Gospel Music Workshop of America. Let me tell you something. This ain't foreign. Hearing stories like this. So truth be told, for Diddy and Jakes to kind of be hanging out, it's like it doesn't shock me or surprise me at all.
Either way you cut it, the blood has never lost its power. Either way you go, I know a man from Galilee who's able to deliver you and set you free. I don't care what it is. I don't care when it is. And I don't care who it is. God said, my grace is sufficient. And so we're just standing over in the corner with a blood bucket. Woo! And
so this type of thing serves a few purposes. Overall, you get back down off of your idea or off of your notion or your feeling or your heart or your gut and say, let's get some truthful answers here. And if they're truthful answers, then let's get some justice. And now he's going into the grace conversations, and forgiveness, and buckets of blood, and everybody needs the blood. Everybody needs righteousness applied by their righteous leaders, supposedly. Or their faith leaders, shall I say.
Whoever needs some can get some. But I don't know about you, before I sprinkle some on anybody else, if you excuse me a little bit, I want to put a little bit. I want to put just a little bit on myself. Glory. Anybody else in here with me admit you need a little blood? I need a little blood. I need the blood of Jesus all over my life, every day of my life.
Now, see, he done took the seriousness of the situation and it totally has made it now, oh, let's get y'all riled up and get y'all emotional. He ain't said nothing. He ain't addressed nothing. And he's not offering any solace to any victims out there who have heard anything. And again, if you're talking about victims of SA, don't you think there's something, all you're going to say is just the blood should work and we're going to plead the blood. We're going to pray. Faith without works is dead. So if we're going to pray, we're praying for what? We're going to pray for grace? Well, his grace is sufficient, then we don't have to pray for that. Because that would be a given. What about how justice can come about for these victims who have things that they can't get rid of and things that might possibly end their lives? And the trauma that they have had. I mean, we're talking about things that have went on in these churches going back to James Cleveland days. So these dudes are this, and so to be acting like this in a modern day setting is amazing. And for T.D. Jakes in this case, he's not even being accused of anything like harming anyone. That's not what he's being accused of at all. And there's some stories, like I said, I won't get into the hearsay, he say, she say, the hearsay stuff. But there's some stories coming out, which is crazy, but believable. If you guys have been around the freak show that goes on behind the veil of gospel music and some of these church organizations, none of this is surprising.
Glory to God. Ain't gonna have no headlines. I'm gonna tell you right now, I need the blood. Who else needs the blood in here? If it were not for the blood of Jesus, I'd have been consumed a long time ago. I just wallow in it and lay in it and roll over in it. And every time the devil tried to kill me, I scream, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood. That's my only defense.
Hey, this Negro is being accused of SA. I don't know what all of this blood talk got to do with any of that, partner. But I mean, so to be going this far off, people should have kind of got on, got a wearing hip to TD Jakes at that point. Because I plead the blood, man, you ain't said a word. So let's fast forward to the end of his service the other day, which, whatever.
Forgive yourself for who you are not.
So what now?
You can't spend the rest of your life apologizing for stuff you can't change. And God will strengthen your shoulders, I believe, before you leave this room. You know what I was really worried about all week? Our terrorist threat is at its highest level. And I spent my week making sure that everything that we needed was in place in case there was an attack. The attack is supposed to be against synagogues and churches in the South. And I knew today would be a target. And we have all kinds of extra security precautions in place over your car, at the door, in the roof, in the back, all around us.
Okay. So, hey, it's gonna tell you that we cared about you. And this before all of this other stuff happened. And let's see, we're here to take care of you.
Because while they were trying to kill me, I was trying to protect you. And we spent extra money and we hired other extra people. And there's all kinds of security in place right now that you can't even see.
And none of that has anything to do with the stuff going on with you. It's all about that terrorist threat that's going on, and it might hit churches in the South. I don't think so. But I mean, whatever. Jim Kermit said Jim Jones said the same thing down in the jungle. I know that's right. When they tried to kill me. What? I'm here and I'm doing this for you. My children, my flock. Let me get this black woman over here to help me get you people to sip this Kool-Aid over here. Now y'all just go on ahead because Jim Jones is a man of God. Well, they had that mammy. Boy, I'll tell you, I always mention that. If y'all ever want to hear the damage that Bunny Ruckus can cause, yeah, that Jonestown thing is for real, man. And it is a Bunny Ruckus. Ooh, a Bunny Ruckus and woman that's in the background just orchestrating mass deletion, self-deletion by drinking something you knew was poison and that would take you up out of it. Hoo-wee. So yeah, that is kind of an ironic
case
coincidence, isn't it?
It's my job to be ready. So a car bomb don't come up in here while we having church. I have to think about that. And anybody who has that kind of government on their shoulders don't have time to be playing with freaks.
He don't have time to be playing with freaks, huh? For a person who I would assume is trying to get the truth out as much as possible, this seems like a bunch of truth dodging to me. It sounds like a boatload of dodging to me. I mean, maybe I'm just seeing it the wrong way, but he means P. Diddy Boochie Cat. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hooey. I mean, it's amazing that is happening. Now, there's been a cat that's been going after these cats, this guy for a minute. And yeah, I'll go here next.
What church have done now is have become nothing but a big business. It's racketeering. It's party. Church is nothing but game time. Anytime a man like Tyler Perry can get dressed like a woman whenever he chooses and then lay hands on T.D. Jakes and then Jake pretend like he's in the spirit. And just because Tyler Perry gave him $1 million, and that's all T.D. Jakes got happy over. It wasn't the Holy Ghost. It was that $1 million check.
So we were sitting in the service and I leaned up toward him and I said, I've just been touched to give $1 million. So when you got up here and you said $1 million, I said, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I know I heard your voice. Hey!
Look at the jigs. All happy about the $1 million.
Oh yeah, I'm certain he's happy. Now, let me show you, because there is a clip here. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Hold on. Oh God, wait, this. See, whoo, man, how do I put this? Family, you've already kind of given up the playbook because you fell for Medea. The many people who are a major Medea fan, I was never into that. Before the movies even came out, for those of y'all who remember the bootleg days, that's actually how the Medea character became popular, is because the plays, at least out here, the plays were circulating on the little bootleg barbershop, beauty shop type of circuit. And so we keep hearing everybody talking about, Medea. So somebody finally gave us a Medea. It was a DVD of one of their plays, right? Man, we put that thing on. We watched about, maybe 20 minutes and turned that sucker off. I was like, oh, this is a play and a dude in a dress? Like, what the hell is this madness? Like, y'all falling all over yourselves over this? Okay, I guess. So that was my introduction to the Medea character. So, but understanding the blueprint of pleasing the masses was laid out then. So to have Tyler Perry come up here and start doing his come on, man. This is shameful, and this is acting, ladies and gentlemen. Acting without shame.
Need to eat, they have to be present. So God bless you, Bishop. I pray right now that you will continue to do everything you're doing. I pray his anointing will stay upon you. I pray the power of God all over you. I pray his favor. I pray the blood of Jesus will come upon you right now. Keep you in.
If you don't get up out of here. Oh my goodness, this is shameful.
God, I thank you for your blessings.
Now you got to listen to what this woman is about to say.
Come on, somebody give God some praise. He's pushing that baby out. Come on.
Did you hear what she just said? He's pushing that baby out. He is pushing that baby out. What are we talking about in church these days?
He's pushing that baby out. Somebody holler, push. Push. What? Come on and praise I'm not going to hell.
Oh my Lord. Oh, the madness just does not stop. Oh, he's pushing out that baby. Yeah, push. Oh, come on. Oh, let's not. Oh. Oh my Lord. This is absolutely insane, family. I just don't know what to say about that. I mean, Pastor Jake's done been out there with with a little bit of everybody. He out here getting touched by Tyler Perry. They come over here running game on. And, I was sitting here and the Lord told me I'm gonna give $1 million. It was on my spirit. I'm gonna give $1 million to give to a church, to a mega church. It's like TD Jakes don't need your money. TD Jakes got plenty of money. I mean, this is shameful. This is shameful, and he's another one that he's talking about his evolving understanding of sexuality and all of that. So he's also altered doctrine, to say the least. So I mean, TD Jakes is what it is. He's a charismatic speaker. A lot of people have fallen into the trap of him being some kind of spiritual leader, to which I don't see him as that. Again, I mean, I get the whole system. Well, he's an anointed man. Yeah, you could fall into the emotionalism of it all. I completely see how that works. I grew up knowing how it works. I'm a musician, so I played how it works. And so I understand emotion and whatnot. That's what made us well-rounded musicians. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we know game when we see it. And for all intents and purposes, TD Jakes would not be the first gay preacher or pastor by a long shot. So if that's the case, hey, it is what it is. You get down how you feel, brother. You might want to start looking at doing something different, though, because, see, that's the thing. He is in a moral meets public dilemma because he's a preacher and a pastor. He's supposed to be representing a certain standard of behavior, but and he's at a Diddy party. Like, there's secular artists that don't go to Diddy parties, but you're there. Okay, preacher. All right, there, preacher. You can have that. There it is. And so I wanted to end this broadcast, and acquaint y'all with somebody just in case you were unaware. Because one of the things that you'll hear people do, and they're gonna start throwing out there, is saying, well, the current head of the DNC, he's a black man. That's one thing Joe Biden's giving representation of black men for. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the head of the DNC.
Hello, folks. It's DNC Chair Jamie Harrison. After the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, the American people sent a powerful message to elected officials by going to the ballot box and voting to protect reproductive freedom. In states like Kansas, Kentucky, Ohio, and Montana, voters took a stand against the extreme Republicans in their state legislatures and denied their ballot measures to further strip away reproductive rights. But over the past week, Republicans have made it clear that they're not giving up without a fight. In Texas, Kate Cox was forced to flee her home state to receive an abortion for a non-viable pregnancy because the state Supreme Court ruled that she didn't qualify to meet a medical exception. When they ruled against her, they took away her autonomy, her freedom of choice. And if she didn't leave Texas, they could have taken away her chance to have kids in the future. Folks, let's be clear. This is the legacy that Donald Trump left behind. His right-wing Supreme Court justices provided the deciding votes to overturn Roe versus Wade. And now, if MAGA Republicans have their way, extreme abortion bans will not only be the reality in Texas, but nationwide. They want to take away your freedoms, but folks, we won't let them. President Biden and Vice President Harris, they are fighting to protect a woman's right to make her own healthcare decisions, and they will not stop until we finish the job.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
So for the head of the DNC, you get one of these.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
I mean, because good grief.
Buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall. And let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. So we have talked about a lot of Biden's problems. Biden must want the media to lie for him, to tell people that things are great when they're not. But obviously that's also the sentiment of the Biden bootlick regime that will be rolling out here and try to tell us that one of the things, also keep noticing, you keep hearing how we don't understand civics and we don't research, we don't understand politics and all of this, although this area has been the biggest lane of politics in the Black sphere for the past, well over the past decade. So to push that notion at this point to where you're seeing actual effects of the change, you know, you can't now start saying, oh, well, you know, it has nothing to do with the movement here that Black folks are demanding tangibles. No, it can't be that. Well, I'll tell you this. Those of you who think that makes sense, I could speak for myself. I think I'd speak, and that's beatzillapdx official. beatzillapdx official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots voices of new Black media, I think it would be safe to say that when it comes to these people who really thoroughly believe that you could just use these tired, old, white folk, anti-Black think tank tactics to sway our position from reparations, no vote, or reparations, tangibles, no vote. Well, we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. So, family, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket and support this channel by way of donation, you can do so at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp, $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is beatzillamuzak at PayPal. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
Going to hell.
stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive, family. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed night. See you on the next broadcast.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. See, that's what you throw.
Right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.